Hey, thanks for tuning in to the 80s Babies right here on gnarly101.com.
Yeah, it's your girl Nikki, and I'm here with the Vasquez family. Now, we've been talking to Sammy and stuff and getting all this stuff, and we've been going back and forth with wifey, but we're going to focus on Miss DelRae Vasquez.
And
right
she's
now.
like, about time.
They've been giving us some good stuff. I don't know if you ain't been listening, but we've been getting some good stuff. Like, you know. But I want to talk to her. You're a realtor now, correct?
I am.
It used to be medical background because I wouldn't have known that. No.
Yeah.
But you're a realtor. Can we talk a little bit about that and what made you want to get into wanting to be a realtor?
I actually didn't want to be honest.
Oh.
Just being in urgent care, I worked all through COVID, and you know, when you're working in the urgent cares, your schedules are 12-hour shifts, and during the height of COVID, 12-hour shifts could easily turn into 16-hour shifts.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I wasn't seeing my kids, and then I just ended up working with a very, very toxic provider, and it just got to the point where I told Sam, I'm like, I literally cannot stay here any longer. I'm just not one of those people who is going to stand for an abusive workplace. And so I told him, you know, I just didn't know what to do. I've never stepped away from medical, you know, and so he said, I think you should do real estate. And I was like, that doesn't really sound enjoyable to me. Literally.
Yeah.
He just said, yeah, but if you think about it, because at this time he was working with his previous company, he said, we can work together.
Yeah.
You know, I can help you in real estate, you can help me on the security side, and we can do two different things but still do it together. And I said, okay, and so I'm still working in the urgent care. I started doing my schooling, so I'm literally doing it in between patients, in between being a wife and mom.
And how long was that schooling like?
So I did the online version, so it was at your own pace, so you can get it done as quickly as you want to. I think for me, it took me about 5 months just because I was doing it in between patients and working and yeah, and on my off days. And then, you know, Colorado's known for having some of the toughest tests to take on a national and state level.
Okay.
And so I ended up quitting because it just got so toxic. I was like, I literally can't stay here another day. And I focused the next, I don't know, 2-3 weeks on just studying. And I went in and I took my test and I passed it the first time. And I was like, okay, well, I guess this is what we're doing, you know? And so then I think it was maybe 4 or 5 months later, thanks to Sam and our friend Joe, shout out to Keegs, you know, he gave me my first sale, and I just fell in love with it from there. It was just like, oh, okay, like, I actually love this. Because the schooling is nothing like what real estate really is in real life. It's nothing.
I've never really like sit down and talk to a realtor or anything like that, or seen the process you guys go through. So I heard Colorado is like kind of a hard market, you know, when it comes to buying a home. So say you have a first-time homeowner, like what's some of the best advice you can give them when getting ready to look for a home, or like maybe the first 1, 2, 3 steps, you know, they should take?
Well, automatically getting connected to a lender. And I have some really, really great connections with my lenders, very close relationships, but that's going to be one of the top things that you want to do, because even if you think that you're not in a position to buy, or if you feed into all of these lies about you have to have a certain credit score and you have to have a certain percentage of money down, all of those things, getting connected with a lender is going to give you the access to see where do we need to go, what do we need to work on, what could we potentially ask for when we do go under contract on a sale of a home, of what we might need as far as funds to go towards closing or to pay something off. So that's always going to be the first thing, is getting connected with a really good lender.
Okay. So what it sounds like with you being a realtor, when buying a home, like, are you like the second step possibly, or even if they do contact you, you can still, you said possibly.
Yeah, if they were to contact me first, I would give them my connections. You know, they can go anywhere, but I would give them my connections. Or if they have a lender that might be their friend or their family member, and that part is established, then they would come to me as like a second step. So it could be a first or second, depending. But that's always going to be the first part of the process in general, because your lender is not only going to set you up in the best way, but they're also going to give you your buying power amount.
And I think more people, learned that now, DelRae, but the fact is that unless you've got your financing arranged, don't go looking.
Yeah, one of my actual things is I won't go and show homes to a client unless they have been pre-approved.
Yeah.
I just
Because it's
won't.
what, a waste of time?
Yeah, it's a waste of my time. It's a waste of the seller's time who has to load up their entire house and leave for the showing. You know, it's heartbreaking for your clients if they are not pre-approved and they have it in their mindset that they're going to be able to afford a certain amount of money. And then you go and you show them a house and they fall in love, and then you start the process after that, and it's, oh no, you actually can't afford to buy this. So
When I go looking for a house, I mean, I don't worry about it. I just bring my checkbook with me, write them a check right there.
I want to get on your level.
I know, right?
Yeah. Oh, wait a minute. I'm in radio. Don't cash this check till Monday.
But so you made the transition from medical, which was, of course, paying the bills, and now you're a realtor. I wanted to kind of talk about trying to encourage certain women, maybe they want to, make a career change. Do you feel being a realtor now gave you more time? Is it lucrative for you to do it? Or what was the sacrifices for you to make that transition, and do you feel it was a good sacrifice?
I definitely think on a level of being a mother, and even, being a spouse, it has been incredibly beneficial as far as I can definitely write my own schedule, and I can coordinate my calendar accordingly to make sure that I'm not missing anything, because I'm a very hands-on mother. I've never missed anything of any of my kids, and that is my top priority always.
Yep.
Aside from being a wife.
Thanks.
But I definitely think time-wise, I spend way more time in real estate than I have ever done in clocking in and out of any job. And it's very demanding. This year I actually had to put up different sorts of boundaries, so now I've been switching over my phone to sleep every night at 8 p.m. because I'll have clients that reach out to me at 10 o'clock, and being the person that I am, and Sam can testify to this as well because he's very much the same way, if I get a text message at 10 o'clock, even if there's nothing that I can do at that moment, I want to respond. But in reality, it's like there's nothing I can do at 10 o'clock. So now this last year, I have really made it a point to set that expectation for my clients of, hey, if it's after 8 o'clock, I'm not even going to receive your message because my phone has switched over. But I definitely think it's way more demanding than clocking in and out. Lucrative, it's nice, right? You do get a nice paycheck, but it's same as boxing and anything that is commission driven. You never know when the next one's going to come. So.
Gotta make the sacrifice. Well, thank you for sharing that with us. And where can they find you again, DelRae?
You can find me at DelRae Vasquez Realtor on all socials.
On all socials. And then
That's about as easy as it gets.
Yeah, if they can't figure that out, maybe you don't
Then
need
they
to
shouldn't
talk
be looking at
No.
houses.
But that's a nice way to set your boundaries too when you're, dealing with real estate. So thank you for taking your time to discuss it. We got one more break, you guys, and we're going to come back here and we're going to discuss. You guys have a foundation that your family has started, and we want to talk about that here on Gnarly 101.